everybody, welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to have you all here. I'm ready.
You are wide awake this morning. I am wide awake because my dog consistently wakes me up early now. So it's not a question of whether I want to get up. I'm going to.
I'm so hyped up, I'd wake up my dog. I'm like, get up. You're taking me for a walk.
No, the dog still won't go for a walk with me, or a drag, as I call it. Anywho, this episode, folks, is sponsored by Colossal Games, and they have a new expansion for Western Legends called Blood Money. So you can check out that expansion. We have a link to it in the description below. We are giving out 3 copies of the Blood Money Core Box Pledge. This is open to worldwide people, and this contest is open for a week. So if you're watching this later on, you can still get involved until midnight, August 19th. And there's 3 copies. You have to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word Western, as in Western Legends. And in the body, you need to tell us how many game modes will be offered in this new campaign setting. So you're going to have to go to the website and look a little bit to find that, and then also send us your address and stuff so we can get you this stuff if you win. I'm excited because I like Western Legends, and the more Western Legends, the happier I am. There's a pump trolley in the game now and a fiddle.
Ooh.
So I like the fiddle. If you end your turn in a town, you get $10. I guess you're just like...
That's fantastic.
But you can also roll the risk die to gain 20 instead. So there's a new die that bad things can happen to you. I guess I'm like, I'm going to try some new funky music. And some guy comes along, I don't like that music. I don't know.
Kick you out of town. Yeah, you either make money or they kick you out of town. That's great. That's hilarious.
Alrighty, well, that's a contest. Don't forget to try it out. Check out the link in the description below. Well, it's been a week. We have lots of cool things coming up, videos. If you missed it, Z just posted a comparison of the old and the new edition of Seven Wonders.
Right.
So you can find that video, but don't watch it now. Stick around with us. We got some contributors, and then me and Z will be back with the news.
Brandy, Dylan, we came together.
Can we play now?
Yes.
Hi guys, I am Randy.
I'm Ellen. We game together.
And we're continuing our series of the first games that we've purchased in our gaming hobby career.
That's right. Last week we talked about Pandemic, Life Junior, and Agricola. This is our list. And today we're talking about Friday.
So Friday I purchased on 5/17 of 2015. So this is quite a bit after our first real game, if you will, which is Pandemic. And like I said, I had returned Agricola, so that doesn't really necessarily count. This is 6 months later.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I
know why you bought it. It's because I wouldn't play with you. And Friday's a solo game.
That's exactly
my
why.
God. I did not think of that until right now. That's so sad.
It is a little sad. But yeah, so about 6 months later, I'm like, I got such a bad kind of reaction from Ellen on games in general. Turns out it's because mostly it was a co-op, and I thought that was going to be the perfect intro. In fact, it really turned her off of games altogether.
Yeah.
But I bought Friday, which is a solo game, and I played that game quite a bit at work.
This is the saddest episode.
Even sometimes at home. And that game is fantastic, though, by the way. I think you played it once or twice.
I tried twice, and it was extremely difficult. I do not like soloing. So I don't think I'll probably ever try it again.
It can be pretty challenging.
But it was fun.
Yeah, there are different levels to it. And then just how you draw some of the end pirate cards can really change how big your difficulty is.
It felt impossible.
Then you, it's like a points against the a chart kind of a thing. So if you get this many points, you've done this well.
Yeah.
Definitely a great game. Even today's standards, they do have an app for it, which helps a lot with learning. Because I remember it was a little confusing for me at first. Now, I think if I maybe pulled it out now, it wouldn't be so confusing. But there's plenty of aspects of it. I'm not sure what this means. But the app does help with that quite a bit.
So the date of the Friday purchase is a sad time in our gaming journey.
But along with that, I did buy Carcassonne.
Yeah.
And that was an old classic that I had played once or twice before. And I'm like, I remember really liking this one. I pulled that one out, and we will talk about that one on the next episode.
Yes, we will.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
This is a segment where we take a game based on an IP, and we take a look and see if the IP and the mechanisms fit together and whether you should purchase it or not. Today we're looking at Assault on Hoth. This is a very old Star Wars game about Empire Strikes Back. Let me show you how it plays, and I'll come back and tell you what I think. One player will be the Rebels, one player will be the Imperials. On a turn, you just flip over an action card, you would do whatever it says. Normally it will have you move somebody or attack. Movement is easy, each space is 1. Unless you're in a terrain space, it can cost more. To attack, you roll the number of dice for your character. Rebels hit on sabers, Imperials hit on Vader's mask. You want to roll more successes than the defense of the character that you're shooting at. Now, one of these cards in the action deck may tell you to draw over an event card. If you do, you take an event card and you flip it over. This one, some of these will give players powers. This one happens to be the win condition for the Rebels. If 5 of these transports come out during the game, the Rebels win. The Imperials are trying to get to the shield generator and destroy it before 5 of these come out. Whoever accomplishes their goals first wins. There also is a thing down here where Luke Skywalker will be one of the speedsters. He will have 10 force points to use, so he'll be wrecking a force, but as soon as he uses force, he comes out to play, and the Imperials will know where he is at. So the IP really fits this game. This is a skirmish game at heart, and it really fits in. Sure, you could put Marines here or something else, but this is Star Wars. If you want that Assault on Hoth, this is the game to get. The component's going to let you down a little bit. It was not something I wanted to keep based on that. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is that battle, and it works perfectly. Just be aware that this is an outdated game. Not necessarily the system itself, but the components, and you know what you're getting into. But IP mechanisms go great together, and this is one that's going to blow a lot of people's minds.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're going to be talking about Lizard Wizard. This is a game upcoming from Forbidden Games. It's in the same vein as Raccoon Tycoon, so it's got a similar kind of DNA woven through it. It's always a lizard. Wizards, these 7 schools of magic, like sorcery, alchemy, necromancy, that kind of stuff. It's got resource management. It's got a little bit of press your luck even. It's got some set collection. There's just a lot going on in this game, and it's a lot of fun.
It also has the best artwork known to man.
It is pretty great.
It is so good. Even before I played this, all I was doing was staring at the card art because it was so great. And all of these lizards, all sorts of lizards, all sorts of magical lizards. I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but I was really captivated and drawn in by all of these magical lizards. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's got this kind of all this Euro mechanics all wrapped up in this magical world, and I think that's what this games are missing nowadays. Is you're either in trading the Mediterranean or you're in some weird magical lizard world. Why not both?
This is the Mediterranean lizard world.
You know what I mean? Why not have some cool, streamlined, Euro mechanics with cool themes behind them? It just draws me in like crazy. I love this game.
Yeah, this game was awesome. I loved it. I want to play it again. In fact, you know what? This is what we'll play while we're eating our breakfast today.
Cutting this short. Let's go record. Let's go. We'll play this again.
Okay, everybody. This is Ryan. Bethany. You can always find us under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews on YouTube, and we hope that you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Alrighty, folks, let's take a look at the news and see what's been announced and stuff in the last week. Some interesting things for sure. First of all, from Wizards of the Coast, they've announced Dungeons & Dragons: The Great Dalmudi. Now, The Great Dalmudi is a game that's designed by Richard Garfield, who did Magic the Gathering. And right here, I'm going to say, I think it's really weird that they didn't do a Magic the Gathering version, since that's his other game.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they went with D&D instead of Magic the Gathering. I guess maybe this is a little more... They can go to more places, I suppose. It's a little more... I don't know. I really have no idea. For one thing, I mean, the Great Dalmudi, anything is weird. It's a ladder climbing game. There's no theme. This is a stretch.
Isn't Dilbert Corporate Shuffle the same game as this, I think? That one I played. Yeah, I find it to be okay. There's that whole one person, you have different roles at the table that people are. But I do like this artwork, though.
It's cool. I wish the cards were not black bordered, but it looks cool.
I like black border. I know that they get nicked for sure, but I think a black border always looks nicer than a white border. But you know what? That's been ingrained in me because when I was in a collectible card game, black borders were always the more valuable cards.
That's true. Remember back in the day when Magic the Gathering cards had different borders based on like beginner and expert level cards? That's a throwback, my friend. You might be old.
Anyway, this is coming out in November 2020 from Wizards of the Coast.
All right.
Other new games that are coming out. We have 4 new games announced from Pandasaurus. The game Quick and Easy.
Like it. I want to get that.
So what is this? What's the difference between this and the game?
This is obviously quicker and easier. It's a lighter game. It's got more it's got more artwork for one thing. There's actually a few pieces of artwork now as opposed to like a single weird skull image. It just seems like a simpler game where they took away all that nasty math. I did not like the count backwards jump of 10 constantly. You have to be checking, can I jump back 10 from any of these piles? This one just seems really interesting. I was telling Tom, I've been looking forward to getting a copy of this myself. It's been hard to get, so I'm glad that Pandasaurus is bringing this out in English. Very excited about that. This looks great. And I have played Ohanami, which was a very nice card game as well. Very simple, little card game with some neat scoring and set collecting.
This is interesting to me, they have robots coming out. This was nominated for the Kinderspiel. But what's interesting is I don't think Pandasaurus has ever done a kids game before. Mm-hmm. And then they have the very uniquely named Gods Love Dinosaurs. This is from the designer of Magic Maze. So dinosaurs are hot, and they're definitely in right now. So we'll have to see.
Very them. It's very Pandasaurus, right? So
Starling Games has announced a new card drafting game for the designers of Everdell called Flourish, which is a good name for a game. And that cover looks good. The whole thing just looks interesting.
Very nice. I have not heard of this. This looks wonderful. And you're right. I'm surprised there hasn't been a card game named Flourish, especially with how many Flora games there have been lately. This is a good one. It's
a good name. The whole thing looks interesting. I'm assuming this is coming to Kickstarter. I don't know, but Starling does put most of their stuff. Well, it says look for it in fall 2020. Who knows?
All right.
Now, this is really interesting news. Ashes is, coming from the ashes. Rise of the Phoenix Born. Very on the nose. Plaid Hat's bringing back Ashes, but they're doing so in a very different way. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a 1.5 upgrade kit with expansions, but these expansions are going to be delivered via Team Covenant. Now, Team Covenant already does subscription models to a lot of FFG living card games. In fact, I subscribe to them for the Marvel Champions. Mm-hmm. Yes, when they put a new deck out, they charge a card, they send you the newest one. It's really convenient. You don't have to think about it. Well, they're going to do the same thing here for Ashes, but they need 1,000 subscribers for this to work. And from what I can tell, this is the only way you're going to get the game, at least for now, this expansion. Which I think is legit since Ashes has its own very dedicated player base. And obviously this is one of the first things we're seeing that's going to be different about this company now that they're no longer underneath Asmodee.
Have any other companies besides, I guess, the P500 done something similar to this lately?
I do know that what's the competitor of D&D? It's missing my mind. The other
Pathfinder?
Pathfinder card game. I know that you could have gotten a subscription model from them. FFG never did a subscription model because they said they didn't want to compete with the stores themselves. Okay. Team Covenant is a store. Obviously, some people don't like this method here of subscribing, but I think for a game this niche, it makes sense. And I tell you what, I have no knowledge of this, but let's say they do this with their Summoner Wars 2.0, I will be subscriber number 1 because I love Summoner Wars.
Well, you get up early enough. I think you can do it.
Alrighty. WizKids has a new game coming out called Meeple Towers. Oh. Also a new sitcom coming towards you. It sounds like...
I am so sick, I kid you not, of the word meeple being in titles of games.
I agree. Not to mention, just the word, but like they use it on the cover. Why not just show an actual guy in a tower, right? And then here's what I find fascinating. There's hardly any meeples in that picture.
Hey, no, that's true. I think those are all little pillars.
I think in the corner, those tiny little things are meeples.
Okay, wow. Okay, and a massive hammer, I guess. All right, well.
It's a 3D structure. It's from Aaron Holland. It's 45 minutes. You're going to play action cards that let you add worker supports or new tiles that construct a tower. It looks interesting. We already have a few games that do this sort of thing, so we'll have to see. This one's like, hey, you like polyominoes? You like meeples? You like towers? We got it all, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to wait and see. But like Z says, the name is certainly uninspiring.
Yeah.
Also from WizKids, we have the Gates of Mara. This is a new board game from J.B. Howell, who was one of the co-designers of Flotilla. And it's a worker placement mechanism with a layered area control mechanism. It's 2 to 4 players and plays in 90 to 180 minutes. So a light game.
Yes, this is one I think I want to say, I looked at when we did our looking ahead to 2020 video early in the year. They were very different times. And this was one of the ones I looked at. It looked interesting. It definitely looks sprawling and like there's a lot going on, but I'm still excited for it.
Oh, someone in the comments said Meeple Steeple would have been a better name. Would you get a game called Meeple Steeple?
It's better than Meeple Towers.
Open the doors and see all the people. The Meeple? Okay.
It's better.
All righty, let's continue on here. We got exciting news from Schmidt Spiel and also what's the company? North Star. Another expansion for the Quacks of Quedlinburg. So I don't know a whole lot about this, but I have heard, because I saw some people were talking about, they were saying, I'm not getting this because I don't want to have to wait for the Board Game Geek upgraded bits. And somewhere, but that's the truth of it, right? Yeah. I use the upgraded bits now. So if this came out, I'd be like, I don't even know how to play with this since I don't have the original bits anymore. But I think they said you don't need those. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Also, then there's another game in the Ganshan Clever series. This one's Clever Hook Dry. I don't know what the definition of that is.
Well, dry is 3.
So thrice as clever?
I guess, maybe.
I
don't
okay.
know what hook means. So, yeah, something 3 times. Clever times 3, baby. Meeple Clever.
Alrighty, a new version of golf card game Allegra has been announced. This is a version of the public card game Golf, which has been the inspiration for games like Cabo and the Silver Series and many other games. This is actually one of my least favorite public domain style games. I don't know what it is. I find these games to be boring. I think 11C's that was in this category too. Mm-hmm. That whole, you have cards in front of you and you manipulate them to get the right order. I don't know. You like these more than me?
I like Casino. You're describing kind of the card game, the public card game Casino a little bit. Golf, I think is a little different, and I don't really, I'm not particularly enamored with it either. I like the look of these cards. I think they're
that's true.
Very nice.
These look really nice, for sure. I'm looking it up online to see this Golf here. It's also known as Polish Poker, Turtle, or Crazy Nines.
Crazy? They have a Crazy Nines now? I've heard of Crazy 8s, but that's ridiculous.
I know.
Are there meeples in this? That's the only thing that would make this better, if they had meeples in it.
Let's move on. All right. Dune Imperium, a new Dune board game. I love how when they announced it, they're like, the first new Dune game in 42 years. I was like, come on now.
That's great.
They're not telling us much more other than deck building meets worker placement. Fine. But then they said from the creators of Clank, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested because Clank is amazing.
It's funny how much Dune is getting love now, now that there's a movie coming and all of that. So that's neat. don't think I'm interested, but folks who enjoy the theme very much or really are massive fans of Clank, here's something new to look forward to.
A new game has shown up in the Target retail line, and that's Disney Shadowed Kingdom from Mondo Games.
Huh.
Now, this definitely looks like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
It's a 2-player cooperative game where you're going to team up with 2 Disney heroes and try to stop the shadow from polluting the kingdom.
Okay.
A 2-player co-op game is not a bad idea, especially right now, where there's a lot of people who have someone that they could do a co-op game with.
That's cool. I haven't heard of this at all, but I like the look of that. Mondo is on my radar because they've helped put out Unmatched.
Right.
So this is one I might have to look into. Is there a release date on this thing anywhere?
I'm wondering if it's even already in stores. I don't think so.
A quick search will give us that answer. So yeah, but this looks nice. I like the look of it.
Okay. Well, speaking of IPs, we have the Princess Bride Adventure book game. This is coming from Ravensburger. This is coming out October 4th, so not that far away. You're going to be going through a book, kind of playing through the Princess Bride. I don't know if it's the book or the movie. I know they're not too far off. And this is also another one going to Target.
It looks like it's based on the movie because there's some likenesses here.
Oh, okay, that's true. The cover itself, yeah, it looks straight up like the movie. But you know what this game made me think of? Since it's a cooperative game, it really made me think of Lord of the Rings.
Me too. That's what I'm looking at this board. There seem to be paths of circles on the board. I'm getting a real Lord of the Rings vibe from it too. Is there a flip book or is that a single board?
I think it's a flip book, actually. I don't know, though.
Yeah, this is one of those
indie, it says it's 6 chapters.
It's one of those darling IP things that people just love to put out games in the Princess Bride universe. So
yeah, but most of them, unfortunately, have been quite bad.
They keep making them, is what I mean.
10,000 and below series, and well, what's her name had it for a while? Game Salute, and they just put out some garbage. They're just like, bruh, it's Princess Bride, you know.
Hopefully this is good. I like the look of it.
All right, Guild Ball, this board game, well, miniature game, I'm sorry, is now finished. So they announced the end of it. Steamforge Games will no longer sell it. It's out. It's done. I find that interesting when a company basically says a game is finished, because so few companies do it. They just kind of let them fade out.
Yeah. I did not realize it was not finished, but I guess I wouldn't know. I don't really follow Guild Ball.
All right, then we have Florenza. This is coming from Placentia Games. Florenza X Anniversary, the 10th Anniversary Edition. I've never played Florenza, but I did just play the dice game, which is one of the most complicated roll and write games I've ever played. The guy on this cover does not care what you think of him.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
He's like, what? Yeah, I was going to read some stuff here about the theme, but blah, 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 blah. You build stuff. It's just what it is.
All right. Well,
there's going to be new rules in it, a solo mode and things like that. More than 500 game elements. Does that mean pieces?
I think so. Game elements is an interesting way to put it. Like if you have a pad of scoring sheets, is each sheet one element? That's a good way to pump up that number, I'll tell you. All right.
All righty. And finally, Stonemaier Games has announced an expansion for Tapestry, Plans and Ploys. This is coming out in September, which is a month away. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The pre-orders are coming out in September, and they're going to be shipped in September. So there you go.
Right.
Not a whole lot that they're talking about. He just, Jamie says there will be more interaction, more cards, more civilizations, and then he wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and you can read what he wrote. If I know Mr. Stegmaier, he's going to just release a little bit of information at a time so that it's in the news every single day until the pre-orders come up.
All right.
So That's Tapestry Plans and Ploys, and that is all the news. Let's keep going.
Pa, you want to play a game? God, no. Nobody wants to play with me. Are you that person? Don't fret. I'm here to help with the solo special people who have no friends and they want to play games. And for 1,000 payments of $29.99, instead of sounding like this, I got nobody to play with, you can sound like this. I don't want to play with you. Because today, I'm playing Field Commander Alexander, one of the greatest, if not the greatest general of all time. I'm going to take over the world. No one's going to stop me. You know why? Because I'm playing by myself. It's a game by DVG. DVG! It's a game by DVG. Fantastic. You take over anything you want. But you got to fight for it, right? They ain't going to give up easy. Alone! Taking over the world! Or from Dream Team designer Herman Latman. God, I love that guy! And this is a Flying Pig Games. It's a push your luck game. Yes, I've done it before, but we're playing solo, and that's what it is. It's push, push, push. Find the guns. Are the guns there? They ain't there. Oh my God! What am I gonna do? You lost the game. You try again. That's what solo gaming is like. You're not going out anyways. Oh yeah, this game, you gotta get off on the beach and then you're gonna climb a mountain. And, well, you're just not climbing a mountain. This is what's waiting for ya. Or you could be in space. A game by Joseph Miranda and Decision Games, Struggle for the Galactic Empire, where you can be a transhuman and go through hulls of ships with your mind from your ship to another ship. This is like an Isaac Asimov Foundation series game. I love it. Or you can be a U-boat Kriegsmarine commander, and you command a submarine of wolf packs, and you blow up all these British and Allied ships. But then the Americans come in this year, and they cause havoc. They cramp my style. And now you're not the hunters anymore, you're the hunted. It's the twilight of the U-boats. Those 3 games were designed by Gregory M. Smith, great designer. The first game was The Hunters, the second game was Silent Victory, where the Americans comes in, and the third game was The Hunted. So as the war progresses, things get bad for these guys. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a game, and not everything's a history lesson. I mean, that's the way I take it, but you can play it just as a game, and it's a lot of fun. I'll see you later.
Hey, Kim here, and we're back for another episode of Name the Game, where I give you a clue about a board game and you try to name it. Were you able to guess this clue from last time? If you guessed Saloon Tycoon, you're right. Add a little cheese to those scrambled eggs this morning. Welcome to the Old West. You found yourself right in the middle of a gold rush, but you're just in time to grab one of those corner shops to set up your new saloon. Players earn gold to buy themselves new rooms to add to their saloon with the hopes of attracting the most customers in town. What we love most about this game is how you place your tiles. See, most tile placement games have you putting all your tiles out on one level. In Saloon Tycoon, you're building up. You collect supplies, and they help you build and then purchase all sorts of additional rooms for your saloon. So from kitchens to billiard rooms, theaters, printing presses, luxury suites, the more you add, the more customers you can attract. The owner with the most points from their saloon and their patrons is the winner. We played this at multiple player counts and enjoyed it every single time. Give this one a try. Let us know what you think. And with that, here's your clue for next week. Do you know what game this is from? See you next time.
everybody, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are Our Family Plays Games.
Yeah.
And today, we're going to show you another one of our favorite family games.
Yes. Istanbul by AEG, and it plays 2 to 5 players, and it won a little award back in 2014 called the Kenner Spiel.
Now, in Istanbul, you're traveling around Istanbul.
Yes.
And you go to different places.
Yes.
You start off at the fountain because you're a merchant with assistants.
Yes.
And you and your assistants are going to travel around to collect resources.
Yes.
And your main objective is to get rubies.
Get them rubies, girl. Get them rubies.
So you want to take your wagon and you want to get different pieces from the wainwright to put in your wagon so you can get more resources. And the person who gets the most rubies will trigger the end, and the one with the most rubies will win.
You gotta win those rubies. You gotta get the, and you have rubies all over the place that you can get. But Starla, my cousin, my crazy cousin Charlie, he in jail, Starla. He in jail, and I gotta go get him to help me out there.
Well, when you start off the game, that crazy relative is already in jail.
Already in jail.
You gotta get him out so he can help you, but then your opponent will send him back to jail.
Why you messing with my cousin Charlie? Leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
Istanbul has ins and outs. You got a black market where you do a little gambling.
Ooh, do a little gambling. I love that little gambling.
You got a tea house. So many places you can go in Istanbul.
It's fun.
It's a fun game for you and your family.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So hope you'll give it a try.
Yes.
All right.
Have a great one. Have a great one.
Alrighty, it's time for Z versus the Internet.
Bring it.
You're good. So here's what we're going to do. Today we're going to play our game. You know, I really need to come up with names of these games. So this is a game in which this game, I'm going to ask a question as a number. You probably don't know the answer to it. So Z's going to guess an answer to it, but I'm also going to take 4 answers that I'll pick a random answer and then the 3 answers following it from all the answers that are guessed in chat. And if Z is closer to the answer than all of you, he gets 4 points.
Okay.
If he's closer than 3 of you, he gets 2 points. If he's closer than 2 of you, no one gets points. If 2 of you are closer, then the people get 2 points. And if everyone's closer than Z, you get 4 points. Which just made me realize that these could have been 2 and 1. But you know what? 4 and 2 sounds better.
Are you sure you're happy with the scoring?
I'm not, but we're just going to run with it for now.
Why don't you change the scoring this time before we start? Why don't you make it, if I'm right, I get 16 points. All right, fine, let's go with it.
All right, here we go. Actually, I'm going to make it 5 and 2. That way it makes more sense. 5 and 2.
5 and then -5 if I'm last. Okay.
All right, and I believe I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. So question number 1. Do you know who Satchel Paige is?
Sure don't, but I have Google.
No, you can't Google. Neither can the people watching. All right, Satchel Paige is a famous pitcher, and he played for most of his life he played in the Negro Leagues, but then played in the Major League Baseball. The thing was, he wasn't in Major League Baseball long enough to get the pension. Later on in life, he applied to 20 Major League Baseball teams, and one of them, the Braves, put him on their staffs because he needed to be on another 158 days to get the pension.
Okay.
Now, so they hired him as a pitcher and as a staff member. Now, fortunately, the Major League Baseball Association got together. They changed the rules to 4 years, so then he just got the pension anyway. My question is, how old was he when this happened? How old was he when this happened?
When he
was picked up
by the Braves.
By the Braves, just to get those 158 days so that he could be on.
So I'm guessing he was old. That's the thing. Or older than you would think someone would be when they're playing baseball. I'm guessing that's what you're going for here.
Sure.
So 106, I'm gonna say. No,
I have the answers from the viewers, so you can guess anytime you want.
All right, I'm gonna say he was 52 years old.
52 years old. All right, our viewers said 43, 45, 56, and 58.
I'm right in the middle. Okay.
You are right in the middle. And actually, the answer is 62. 62 years old.
Said, right?
So you're right in the middle. So no one scores any points, making my first question a wash.
I think you should make. I honestly think the score should be. Hear me out here. It should be, I think, 5-2, -1, -2, -4.
I accept your plan. That gives the people 1 point.
Because that way there's never a wash, and I can technically come back if I just keep nailing the top answer, and the bottom's not identical to the top.
All righty. The next question has to do with Calvin and Hobbes. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it was there were two baseball players. One of them played for the Tigers.
Calvin Hobbes is drawn by Bill Watterson, who started the comic strip in 1985 and ended in 1995. Although recently, I think he drew something small. But the one thing he's known for is he has never done merchandising for it at all. You can buy books of Calvin Hobbes, but you cannot buy stuffed animals. You can't buy decals. All the decals you see of Calvin urinating on a logo on people's bumper stickers they're all fake and made up. And in fact, he said something, had he known people wanted it that badly, maybe. But they have estimated how much money he has not made because of merchandising. How much money would he have made had he merchandised, according to the experts who estimated this out? Calvin and Hobbes, which is one of my favorite comics of all times, actually.
How much money would he have made if he had done? Okay.
There are a few things that he's done. He did a couple calendars. He did a T-shirt for the Smithsonian exhibit. And he did a textbook called Teaching with Calvin and Hobbes. And also he allowed his characters to be included in a series of postal service stamps honoring classic comics. But that's it.
How much did those stamps cost?
I don't know.
Like 30 cents?
I haven't bought a stamp in years, man. Oh, I got the People's Choice. Hang on, let me grab these numbers here.
I don't know about this stuff.
All right, I got a couple here. All right, I got the People's Choice answers. What do you got?
I have no idea. I'm going to say $40 million.
$40 million. All right, here's what the people said. 100,000, 27 million, 20 million, 27 million, and 63 million. And the answer is, they estimated it's between 300 and 400 million that he would have made.
I should have really gone with my original. I dropped a 0.
The good news is
I wrote 400 million, and then I was like, that's crazy, 40.
Well, you got to give the guy credit, though. He sticks to his guns. Like, he could change his mind right now, and people would buy it.
Yeah, because he doesn't need the money.
You're out of 3 people. Congratulations. That's 2 points for Z. It's 2-1.
Right, I like it.
All righty. There's a lot of reasons people are in the Guinness Book of World Records. Les Stewart wanted to get in the Book of Records. So he wasn't really good at anything, as far as I can tell. So he decided that he would do something different that no one's ever done. So he decided to type out the numbers from 1 to 1 million, but in words, not numerals. So on a typewriter, a manual typewriter, go figure. In fact, he used seven of them. He would type out O-N-E, 1, then T-W-O, 2. He went all the way to the end where he typed out 999,999 and then 1 million. How long did it take him to accomplish this feat of typing out the words from 1 to 1 million? And he did make it into the Guinness Book of World Records. So there's that.
What? Why?
because he wanted to get in the Book of World Records, and he did. He was also listed as the third most bizarre world record ever.
He couldn't even win that. Oh, this is so ridiculous. How long did it take him? Can my answer be much too long? Can that just be it?
That's probably right.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Now I'm not giving you any kind of measurement here for time. It's up to you to pick what kind of time that is.
All right.
Someone says Les needs to get another hobby. You should play games, buddy.
Les needs to do something else, man.
The problem with this is when someone does stuff like this, you could use it for everything. I'd be like, you're spending too much time on video games to my kids. They'll be like, yes, but did I type the numbers 1 to 1 million on the typewriter? Alrighty, I got the People's Choice. Let me write these down. All right. What's your guess?
I don't know. I'm going to say it took him like, I'm going to convert it into hours. Is that okay?
Sure.
Or you want me to give you like, not hours?
You give me hours. You can do whatever you want.
Because I'm thinking, this is ridiculous is what I'm thinking, but I'm going to say it took him 192 hours, which is 8 days.
Got it. All right. The people said 27 days, 3 years, 10 days, and 10 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And the actual answer is
I hope it's 10
16 years and 7 months, which means everyone was closer than Z, which means the people get 4 more points. It's now 5-2.
I'm a -3. Yeah, 5-2. Okay. 16 years he spent doing this.
It would take that long because just even if you could type so many words per minute, like I can type around on a manual typewriter. I think I could do 70 words a minute.
Calm down, Les. Okay, nobody's trying. We don't need to do that right now.
Calm down, Les. Thank you. All right. Next question. Nancy. I'm sorry, not Nancy. Maria Thompson Davies is known for many different things. One of the things she did is she wrote some books. And her last novel that she wrote was called The Matrix. Now, The Matrix was the story about Nancy Hanks, the mother of Abraham Lincoln. She died when Abraham Lincoln was 9 years old. I would not expect that's what this book would be about. My question is, when did this book get written? By Maria Thompson Davies. I'm not giving you any other information about when she died and all that jazz. I just want to know what year this book was written. The Matrix. It's the last book she wrote, if that helps at all.
What? This is like could be anything.
Well, it can't be, for example, it would have to be between Abraham Lincoln's life and the time when the movie came out where they would get sued.
What movie? The Matrix?
Yeah. It's funny. I was doing some background searching for this, which I'm pretty sure this is correct. I searched for Matrix and Abraham Lincoln and found some stuff I did not expect to find. You know, like there's some people I think who wrote fan fiction where Abraham Lincoln is in the Matrix.
Oh my gosh! What? I can't deal with this, man.
I got him. I got my people already. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say she wrote it in 1896.
1896. Well, that's a good guess because she died in 1924. She was born in 1872. So you're in the time frame.
Okay.
She was also very much involved with the Nashville Equal Suffrage League and a nationally known novelist. Mostly known for The Matrix. No, not for The Matrix. I think she wrote The Elected Mother, A Story of Women's Equals Rights. Anyhow, she wrote this. Oh, the people said 1920, 1929, 1936, and 1931.
That's pretty good for me. I'm closer than at least a couple of those, no matter what.
Well, the answer is 1920, which means, unfortunately, all four of those are closer than you.
Oh, I guess it's not necessarily without going over. Yeah.
36 is only 16 away from 1920, and you were 24 away.
Well,
that's another 4 points for the people.
This is garbageness.
Garbageness? All right, but don't worry, Z. We'll come back. We'll pick a topic that's near and dear to your heart.
Here we go.
IHOP.
Now we're talking International House of Pancakes, baby.
You know, kind of blew my mind is that the International House of Pancakes is not as international as you might think. It's in the United States.
Not in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. It's not. It's in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Guatemala, Dubai, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. That's it. There's like.
Well, we also, again, like I like saying, there's also the World Series of baseball or whatever is only in the U.S. So, you know, there's also that.
So I read a story I did not know, actually, that IHOP had purchased Applebee's. But anyhow, that's not to do with this. IHOPs. As of December 31st, 2019, not too long ago, how many IHOPs do you think are in the world? If you've never heard of an IHOP, folks who are international, it is International House of Pancakes. They actually sued the International House of Prayer, which would not be something I would have sued myself, but what have you. They are all over the place.
Stop peddling syrup.
We have, I think, 2 of them here in Homestead. So the number is a minimum of 2.
Okay, got it. That's
They're usually open. They're usually open 24 hours, and you can get pancakes. A lot of pancakes there, but you can get a lot of other food too.
A lot of things you can get.
They're the quintessential diner, I guess, the biggest diner chain or one of the bigger ones. Like they're similar to Denny's or maybe Waffle House are their biggest competitors.
They're filled with syrup, pancakes, and regrets. All right, so at least 2 in Homestead.
All right, I got the numbers here from people. All right, Z, how many?
There are 347 international houses of pancakes.
All right, 347. I said there was like 2 here. That means... Yeah. Okay, well, anyhow, the people wrote 421, 2,400, 800, and 1,700. And the answer is 1,841, which once again gives 4 points to the people. All right. So here's
I'm coming back, though. I'm coming back.
I got good news and bad news. The good news is you could still do well. The bad news is you can't win. But the other good news is we're moving into board games. Okay. All right. So I went to, for some reason, the word stars was in my brain. So I did a search on Board Game Geek for stars.
You were thinking of Les. That's what it is.
Stars in them. Yeah. Now, to be clear, I didn't look for games that have the word star. There's a big difference because star includes Star Wars, Star Trek, and that's a huge amount. So this had to be stars. However, stars is part of the word starship. So keep that in mind. So how many games have the word stars in them on Board Game Geek?
I don't know. Oh, you want me to guess?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the game.
Starship Catan, there's one.
That's actually the number 4 most owned game with the word stars in it.
Dancing with the Starship Catan. Good one.
Dancing with the Starship Catan. That's a new game made by the same people who made Meeple Tower. Actually, the number 1 game is Znak Starzyk Bogal, which is the Polish version of Elder Sign.
Ooh, it counts foreign names too, huh? Yeah. I guess
sure,
not too many. Not too many going to get caught in that.
The only one I can see are anything that has to do with Elder Sign. So something about the word Elder Sign must have that Starzyk in it.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Oh, I got some people on here. I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your turn.
I'm going to say 141.
141. All right, the people said 55, 200, 87, and 874.
Whoa.
The answer is kind of in between all that stuff. It's actually 299.
Oh, man.
Which means the 200 person was closer than you, but you were closer than 3 other people. So that's 2 more points for you.
Yes.
It is now 13-4.
Wait, why? That doesn't seem right. I only have myself down as 5 under.
You're not. You
Okay.
gave the people 4, 4, and 4 3 turns in a row.
Yeah. Okay. 13-4. Got it.
All right, last question. We'll stay with the stars. The number 3 game on this list, I told you the first one was Elder Sign.
Elder Sign, yeah.
The second one is Forbidden Stars. The fourth one is Starship Catan. But the third one is Among the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Among the Stars. What's the ranking on Board Game Geek? But I'm going to give you help. I'm going to give everyone help. Forbidden Stars is ranked 100. Starship Catan is ranked 1027. So Among the Stars is in between those two.
Very helpful.
What's the ranking of it? Among the Stars, if you've never played it, is a drafting game similar to Seven Wonders. You draft parts of a big space station and build it. It's a pretty fun game. I gave it a 7 out of 10. This episode not sponsored by them at all.
Among the Stars. I'm going to stick with my number choices here. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
It's a Dancing with the Stars card game. So people are cheating and looking online, apparently. All right. You can use it as your... All right, I got the 4 numbers from the People Z. What do you got?
All right, so my last guess was 141. I'm going to go with 411.
411. The People said 300, 423, 723, and 752. So I'm going to do a little bit of math here.
Do it.
See who is the closest. That person was 155 away. And you, unfortunately, are 157 away. The answer is 568. 568. So 2 people were closer than you. 2 people were closer than you, which gives the people another point, giving it a total of 14-4.
Hey, those are the same numbers. 1, 4, 4. I've been working in those numbers. I should get a bonus for predicting the future here. I'm just saying.
Oh, I didn't realize you had a theme going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like two questions.
Hey, man. I'm not Les, all right? I can't commit that long.
All righty. That's the game for today, folks. Thanks for playing. Tune in next week for another challenge. This time it will be me who will be challenged. And let's go to some more contributors.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Nerd Games. The year is 2020. The almost 8 billion people of the planet face a threat of their own making as climate change seeks to wreak havoc across the globe. A multifunctioning team from across the globe is tasked with trying to solve our climate crisis. Players must work collaboratively to seek the world from climate change. There is a tricky balance between moving to renewable energy, recycling, population, staying alive, and keeping enough energy to keep going. The goal is to maximize world population, stay alive, and achieve environmental sustainability. The objective of the game is to save the planet and solve the crisis. To do this, the players need to navigate across the planet and find the scientific teams scattered across it. They must bring themselves and the scientific teams all together into one location before the planet is overpolluted and CO2 levels have reached their point of no return. You must work together to help save the planet. For more information, please check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
Hey everyone! Today on the Plastic Canvas, we're turning the Nexus from Star Wars Imperial Assault from this into this in just 2 minutes. Hey everyone, Matt here from the Plastic Canvas and welcome to 2 Minute Mini, and today we're painting the Nexus from Star Wars Imperial Assault. Now, as soon as I looked at these 2 minis to start painting them, I knew exactly how I was going to be painting them, and that is using my tried and tested wash technique. This is basically just laying down a zenithal prime first, so hitting the mini with black all over, then grey from a fairly high angle, and then white from directly above to give the impression of it being hit by light from directly above, and then essentially just painting it with washes. And the idea behind this is that because of the consistency of the wash being very, very thin, what it does is it more just tints the prime rather than covers it like what the normal acrylics do, and that allows all of the tones from the prime to come through. And so anywhere that the wash goes over where there's still white prime, it's going to be much, much lighter than anywhere that it goes over somewhere where it's still showing black or grey, where it's going to be darker. And so what happens here is that you start to get the effect of light and shade, and so you effectively get free highlighting and shading. And the reason that I knew straight away that I was going to be using this technique with the Nexus is because each of them are predominantly one colour, and their fur is quite highly textured, so there's lots of places for the wash to flow into. This technique doesn't work well, or it's at least very difficult to use, on minis that have more variety in their colours and smaller details, because you just simply don't have enough control over the wash to be able to paint small areas. You need it to be large areas that you're painting with lots of texture or contours for the wash to flow into, because if you're painting surfaces that are predominantly flat, unless you have really good control over the thickness of it, it can easily dry in a blotchy way if you have different thicknesses, because it will dry darker where the wash is thicker. But for a mini like this, it is a really effortless way to get your highlighting and shading done really, really quickly. So if you'd like to see the full version of this video, you can head over to my channel, The Plastic Canvas, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast.
Hello, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Here I have Stratego Legends, The Shattered Lands, published in 1999 by Avalon Hill. This is a 2-player game based off of Stratego with a twist. All the pieces are customizable, and each piece has a special ability. Let me set this up and show you how it works. So to set up the game, there's going to be 4 random tiles that you put face down and give them a good shuffle, and then place them inside this area here. Once you have that set up, then you can go ahead and set up your armies. Now this will be a completely random setup. When you set up your playing pieces, you're just going to lay them face down like that when you put them on the board randomly. You're going to leave the water spaces empty. Your opponent's going to do the same thing. Once your pieces are set up, then you can go ahead and lift up your tiles, and you can switch up to 2 playing pieces in the board before you actually start the game. The game comes with 6 different armies, and each army has 34 different playing pieces which you can customize yourself, and each playing piece has their own special abilities. On every turn, you're going to move one of your playing pieces up, down, left, or right, 1 square. If you end your turn on an opposing piece, you're each going to reveal the piece and consult the number on the piece. The higher number destroys the other piece. If it's a tie, both of the pieces are destroyed. But remember, each piece has its own special ability, and you should look at what piece it is so you can see if you have any tactical advantage or bonus. The object of the game is to capture your opponent's castle piece or destroy it. Whoever can do that first wins the game. The game comes with this insert that you can easily build an army. All you have to do is just follow the numbers on here to build your perfect army. I really like this version of Stratego simply because of the fact that each of the playing pieces has its own unique ability, and depending where they are on the board, just boosts that ability. Although there was a slight problem with the collectability aspect of the game, which shied people away from buying it. Not to mention that the distribution in the booster packs was just horrible, and it was really hard to make a complete set. Well, that's all the time I have for now. If you have a comment below, or you can tweet at me at RetroBoardGamer. And as always, may your rolls be high.
All Alrighty, well, that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Look at us, Z. We did it in an hour on the dot. We're so cool.
We did it. We did it. I'm impressed.
Alrighty, folks, don't forget, go back to the very beginning of the episode if you want to enter our contest for the newest expansion for Western Legends. So we give all the details there, and you can enter and win one of 3 copies available to everyone in the world. All right, it's time to get back to gaming. We'll be back later on today at 2 o'clock to talk about our top 10 games from Lookout, that company, which, well, we'll talk more about them when we get there.
Keep a lookout for that video.
Boo. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Punny Z. Garcia.
Just Z. Garcia. Have fun gaming.